and there's a couple of things I've taken to heart during my short 2 semesters of study here so far. So as you know, the obesity epidemic is nothing new, and by this point we've all heard the same. We'll talk about eating healthy, eating right, exercise 60 minutes a day, follow the food guide pyramid, don't eat French fries. Well, I'm here to tell you that the food guide pyramid isn't a great guide, and French fries are in fact a vegetable. Now, I'm not endorsing consuming French fries as a means of fulfilling your vegetable intake that day, and I'm not saying that the food guide pyramid wasn't once a reasonable idea, but I am saying there are easier ways to get healthy. So I know that I don't need to get into why it's so important that we get healthy, especially in America. Check out the year, and then check out how the colors change. It's staggering, absolutely staggering. So there are reasons, though, that we eat the way we do. For one thing, it's not convenient most of the time. Healthy food is a lot of money. We don't like the taste, the methods for keeping track of our caloric intake, and the 5 food groups are really tedious. Like they don't understand, most people don't understand how to read a nutrition label. I didn't really either. And there's a lot of stigma against nutrition professionals, like the food police taking away your food. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case, and that there are many easier ways to get healthy. So I understand if you're looking down at yourself thinking, hey, I don't look like that 1 out of 3 Americans that is overweight. I've got nothing to worry about. I want to stress that the only way to fight obesity is through prevention. So what I'm going to address will hopefully shift some viewpoints, some daily decisions that you might be making in regards to nutrition. For one thing, there's an easier way to keep track of our 5 food group intake. And for the second, I'll teach you some really cool ways to read a nutrition label. It'll be really fun. Our problem as Americans is that we are awful at managing what we put into our body, or even knowing what we put into it. We're busy, we can't write it all down, we multitask, we can't even remember what we put in our, what we ate for some meals, myself included. But I'm proposing a simpler system. The fancy nutrition professionals call it the plate management method. Okay, so here's the concept, that 50% of your plate is supposed to be fruits and vegetables. Over here, they have fruit included. The Idaho plate method has fruit included and milk included. But for me, I'm okay with my food touching. I put it all on one plate. The milk is just to say that you need some calcium in your meal. But aside from that, it's really easy. You can, especially for us college students, going down the line, picking what we want on our plate, cover half of it with fruits and vegetables. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to count servings. I believe it's a really in-the-moment, great, simple way to manage what we put in our bodies. So for dinner, this might be what it looks like, but for lunch, maybe it's just a fruit, a vegetable, and something else, like a sandwich, or, a salad. Well, that's a lot of vegetables, but macaroni and cheese, whatever you like. So you can make a lot of different decisions. You can choose not to do it some days, but this is just more simple than counting. Like I said, I don't really know what an ounce is, and I don't want to think about it. So another way that we can seriously aid us, something that can seriously aid us in managing what we consume is being able to properly read a nutrition label. You may think you heard it all before, I certainly did, or that there really isn't much to know, but I disagree. A couple of tricks of the trade that I've learned have really helped me make some decisions in the supermarket and when I'm just choosing things out of the vending machine at gas stations, etc. So there are 5 steps that I always go through. The serving size, the calories from fat, the sodium, and the ingredients. There were numbers that were appropriate at one time. Anyway, okay, so first the serving size. Always look at the serving size first. Never jump to the calories first. How many servings are in that Pepsi bottle? Guarantee I drank the whole thing. But I'm looking at 1 serving size. So over here, that's 20 fluid ounces. That's 2 to 3 servings. Sometimes Pepsi bottles come in 24-ounce bottles, and that's 3 servings. And so then you have to look at everything on the nutrition label and think sugar times 3, carbs times 3, sodium times 3. It starts to add up. So then you can look at the calories, and us girls are especially good at looking at calories. And then you can evaluate, am I hungry? Am I going to have a really hard time wrapping up this bag and putting it away for later? Usually for me, the answer is I have a really hard time with that. So I try to pick things that are less calories per serving. Third is the calories from fat. We like to jump to the grams and look at the grams, but for me the grams aren't very helpful. What's helpful for me is looking at what percent of the calories from fat come from fat, and if it's under 1/3, you know that's a really good option. That's pretty low in fat. However, if it gets up to be like 50%, that's a treat, or it's a pack of nuts. I mean, whatever. You have to evaluate based on and scale it to the rest of your day. Fourth is the sodium, and sodium is really often overlooked. We usually focus on the fats and the carbs, which lead to hypertension and heart disease, but sodium does as well lead to hypertension and heart disease. So you have 15 milligrams of sodium a day. That's really hard to meet, but if you meet, and I agree, I never meet it, but it's a good goal. If you divide up your day into 500 milligrams, you can more effectively scale what exactly you're buying and how it fits into the rest of your day. So, let's say that you just had breakfast and you're picking up a mid-morning snack. And it says 300 milligrams of sodium, and you haven't had lunch yet. What does that mean for your lunch? I mean, it might not be a good decision. You might want to pick something more like a raw vegetable or a fruit, which are tasty. And then you can often tell when something's going to be high in sodium. Usually you can tell if it's been processed in a way that it can be preserved in a bag. 77% of our food comes from processed or restaurant foods. So, like I said before, the other option might be having a fresh fruit or vegetable, which would be a great alternative to something highly processed. The fifth, which I think is the real deal breaker for making food decisions, is the ingredients. It's an order by weight. So what I always do is check out where's the sugar. If it's in the first 3 ingredients, that's a lot of sugar. So there's a lot of code names for sugar. Very rarely will they just say sugar. High fructose corn syrup is one that you might know. Fruit juice concentrate is one that you may not know. It sounds really healthy, but it's actually just condensed fructose, just like everything else. And these are some other names. So which one is healthier? Cashew or Nutri-Grain? I'm a cashew go-girl, so I would usually say the cashew. Here's the ingredients for the Nutri-Grain bar. High fructose corn syrup, sugar, but if you look down in the filling, the first 3 are all sugar. But then for cashew, for the strawberry filling, that whole highlighted red is also sugar, all code names for sugar. So kashew's kind of pulling a fast one over on you here. Again, to review the sequential steps: serving size, calories from fat, sodium, and ingredients. So, these 2 skills I believe makes eating healthier a lot less frustrating, less daunting, less intimidating task. No thinking about servings, ounces, numbers. These are just skills that help you manage what you put into your body, but never limit you in what the decisions you can make. I encourage you to try the plate management muffin at your next meal, and I encourage you to try out reading a nutrition label next time you make a decision. Creating these healthy habits now prevents obesity and slowly reverses the trend and significantly decreases your chances of becoming overweight or obese. Don't become a statistic, just give this a try.